All right, children, now we are just proceeding further. Though you might be finding there are lots of diseases here again, some common communicable diseases, and I have categorized them. These are according to your syllabus strictly. If you find anything extra in the book that may be important for your preparation for medicals, but for your boards, only those which are listed, please give straw to them. They are important with respect to boards. Right, children? I have categorized the diseases as viral, bacterial, protozoan, helminthic, and then you also have the fungal infections, right? Fungal diseases, right? We will be discussing them one by one. And while discussing, what you have to take care of is, children, again I'm letting you know, if you remember that when I concluded your first unit reproduction, do you remember that the last thing we discussed was the sexually transmitted diseases and their causative agent, symptom and prevention. Control was not there, treatment was not there, right? When you study in book, you might find treatment, tablets, any kind of injection or some kind of medication, but medication you don't have to give, because as a mean of awareness, what we are targeting that you should understand that a particular disease is caused by blah blah causative agent, and this is an airborne disease or vector-borne disease. You should be realizing that, and what can we do to avoid, to prevent the occurrence of such diseases, right? Symptoms, because as a layman we should be realizing the initial symptoms so that we can provide the first preliminary treatment to the person at home, right, children? This is our target, so that you become aware, right? So this particular content also, what you will be doing in the notes also, those who have biology, they will be finding a tabular form at the end of this chapter, where the symptoms, the causative agent and the prevention is given. But those who don't have, I will be sending you an image. I have already clicked it. I will be sending you the tabular form, image of tabular form of such diseases along with all the details. You have to learn it. I'll make you understand. I can make you understand, but it has to be learned by you only. Right, children? So, and must understand that if the question is there, suppose, it will not be less than 3 marks. This is what I have experienced in last few years. If the question is selected out of these diseases, then it will be no lesser than 3 marks. Right, children? So let us discuss these communicable diseases one by one. What we have to discuss is the name of the disease, whether it is viral, bacterial, protozoal, we should be able to understand that. And then the causative agent, name of the causative agent I have written on the screen just right in front of the name of the disease. And apart from this, what we will be discussing are the symptoms and the treatment, right? I may be going with the general symptoms because we don't mug it up. It's just that whatever diseases we know till now, by experience, whatever symptoms we have seen in people or we have read in the book. So I'll be at random telling you. But apart from this, you might find 2 or 3 more symptoms in the book, right, children? So first one here is common cold. Common cold generally. This is an influenza category, where common cold is a viral disease here, and it is the category of rhinoviruses. This is the category of rhinoviruses, which are causative agent for common cold, and the disease is characterized by coughing and sneezing. I mean, this is something which is important. When you cough, when you sneeze, sometimes the nasal congestion is there or the running nose is there. You may have any of the feature, right? And apart from this, you may have the sore throat. Sometimes we continuously cough and then we have the sore throat problem. We have itching in the throat, and then the hoarseness, because in Hindi you call it gala baitna, right? That is the hoarseness in the voice just because of the swollen throat here. So because you were coughing for a longer time. So these are the general symptoms for common cold, and the category of causative agent is rhinovirus. Now what can you do to prevent it? Children, we know that common cold is something, when you say coughing and sneezing are the symptoms, that means it is a droplet infection. right? If it is a droplet infection, in that case, whenever, I mean, I am telling about all the diseases which are listed here, if any disease is spreading through droplet infection, I mean, coughing and sneezing is involved there. In that case, straight away your prevention should include wearing of masks, right? Because oral and nasal, these two are the main portals for entry of such viruses, right? So in that case, wearing of masks and staying away from the infected person. This is something not to be taught, because already you people are facing such conditions nowadays. You are staying at home, you are wearing mask when you go out, you are every time you are washing your hands. Why? Because you just want to avoid that droplet deposition on your body, or you just want to avoid coming in contact with any such droplet infection, right, children? Second disease here is dengue. Dengue is spread by DENV, is dengue fever virus, dengue, right? Dengue fever virus, this is also a viral disease. When you talk about how it is, now this is an indirect transmission. You don't touch someone and you catch dengue, right? This is spreaded by, this is a vector borne disease. That means this is spreaded by the mosquito. Vector, that means mosquito. On the category of mosquito, you have varieties of species of mosquito here. So here this is Aedes mosquito, Aedes aegypti. You have so many, but Aedes is the genus. So Aedes mosquito is responsible for transferring the virus of dengue. And when you talk about the symptoms, so we straight away say, okay, platelet count is, I mean, it is fallen, right? It becomes very low. But that's something, it's a diagnostic test. Initially, when you suffer from fever, you never understand whether it is dengue fever or it is something else, right? Dengue and chikungunya both have more or less similar features, right? Then you start having rashes in the body, red rashes in the body. But then red rashes is also not the confirmatory test, because rashes appear in chikungunya too, rashes appear sometimes in typhoid too, right, children? So these are the symptoms, that you have high fever, persistent fever, body ache, muscular joint ache, muscular stiffness, right? This is something, and accompanied with the rashes. Then you come to know, okay, rashes plus other symptoms, they are indicating towards dengue. And then you go for a platelet check, which if it is least, it is critically low, in that case dengue is confirmed, right, children? That the blood is cultured, it is checked for the presence of dengue, right? Third one is chikungunya. Chikungunya again, it is basically spreaded by the category of alpha virus. Now this is also virus. When you talk about dengue virus is an RNA virus there. I have taught you the structure of virus, so you understand that a virus may have a DNA or RNA in the center as nucleic acid. But when you talk about dengue, it's an RNA viral disease, right? Chikungunya, it's a category of alpha virus. Then you go with, I mean, this is also Aedes mosquito, but here you will not have that low platelet count. But again, you have to, just because we know that this is a vector-borne disease, then how you will be preventing? I mean, both of the disease could be prevented by. So here again, I am telling you, for droplet infection, you were using masks, you were staying away from the infected patient. Here, whenever any disease is caused by mosquitoes, at that time you have to use any such measure which is a mosquito repelling measure. Use of mosquito nets, use of mosquito repellents, yeah, then avoiding, I mean, just removing all those mosquito breeding sites, water collection at one place. This all has to be removed, right, children? Don't mention the name of any brand. Sometimes once this question was there in boards, and one child wrote like using Odomos, but at that time we allowed marks because Odomos is a mosquito repellent, but generally we gave the marks on child's knowledge. But the thing is, you are not supposed to mention any brand, right, children? So apart from this, then you come to the bacterial section. Now bacterial section is First of all, it is typhoid. Typhoid is caused by the bacteria Salmonella typhi. Please give it a straw to the way I have written it, italicized and underlined, both separately. Individually underlined words are there. Binomial nomenclature is followed. Right. When you talk about typhoid, now the main reason for causing of typhoid is the contaminated food. Right. Then who can contaminate the food? Houseflies, cockroaches, right? These could be the vectors for food contamination, so bringing the germs into the food. So contaminated food is the reason. And then already you are knowing the name of the causative agent. Then you come to the symptoms. Now when you come to the symptoms, then typhoid is something which damages the intestinal walls, right? Typhoid is something that damages the intestinal wall. It is basically a blood infection, must understand that. High fever and extreme weakness, right? These two are again the symptoms. And what happens is, if you don't complete that, sometimes you have seen that the doctor says, okay, for 21 days you have to stay at home, right? Why he says that? So that you complete the course of medication. Antibiotics are given for the cure, and because relapse of the fever is very much prevalent, right children? And when we say contaminated food, so what should be your prevention? That you should not eat any kind of contaminated food. Healthy food, hygienic, sanitation, cleanliness, all could be the preventive measure. Using boiled uncooked food, raw food should be avoided. Properly cooked food is preferred, right children? This is about typhoid. And then you go with pneumonia, right? Now pneumonia is, I have written two names there, Streptococcus pneumoniae and pneumococcus. Now pneumococcus is a common category for all those bacteria, cocci bacteria, which are going to cause pneumonia. Sometimes Haemophilus influenzae is also responsible for causing this, right children? But the names are to be learnt by you. I cannot help you out there. Must understand that pneumonia is something, it is airborne and it is a droplet infection. That means sneezing, coughing, and then very small droplets are there carried by air. Now even when we talk about corona, we also say that the droplets could be taken by the blow of the wind to certain distances, right? So this is something which is droplet infection but might get airborne too, right? Then you go with in pneumonia, when you go with the symptom, children, let me tell you, when you say pneumonia, you have slight fever is accompanied, body ache, weakness. These are general symptoms, but the main I mean the symptom which will be allowing you to recognize, identify the disease, this is the problem, breathlessness. When you breathe, your lungs are so much filled with the mucus that they are not able to breathe completely, and you go scarce of oxygen, right? So problem in breathing is something which is an issue, and this breathing may increase the chest in the chest pain. I mean, you may, when you are having that say very heavy breathing, in that case the chest pain could be there, and this is an issue with the this is an issue which has to be treated. Sometimes the bleeding could be there, and your lips could go blue because of lack of oxygen. So this is the symptom for pneumonia. And when we know that this is airborne and droplet borne infection, what are you going to do? Stay away from the patients and wear masks, right children? Then you go with the next one, that is a protozoan category. So here amoebiasis, amoeba, entamoeba histolytica is the name. Contaminated food and water, particularly contaminated water is the issue. And then whenever you talk about amoebiasis, we know that this is the area of infection is intestine and stomach. So anytime you have problem there, the person suffers from dysentery, diarrhea condition, acute pain in the abdomen, cramps could be there, and even the blood could come out along with the faces, right? So this has to be treated. And when you know that this is from contaminated food and water, so what you have to do as prevention, avoid using uncooked food, avoid using that contaminated water, boiled water should be there, cleanliness, hygiene, sanitation, such words are supposed to be used. Right, children? Another one is malaria. Before I explain malaria, must understand. I guess I should discontinue here because otherwise the video would go lengthy. I will be continuing with the same in the next video, right, children?